Is this controversial punk rocker that people are asking questions about and made you decide to suspend the Q&A Bones? No. No, it is not. Can you show us a close-up of your watch chain scissors that set off the metal detector? These? Sure. We'll have to bring the camera around to do it. Yes, they're just simple little fold out scissors, like so. Or if the situation calls for it. Now what's unique about these is that these are from the Orient. But these are not with a manufacturer stamp of made in China, made in Japan, or some such. I don't know if you can tell or not. If you look really very, very close, you can see the manufacturer stamp there. That's in Oriental characters, which suggests to me, I'm not certain, but it suggests to me that these were not made for export. Meaning to say, you'll pardon me if this seems crass, but these are not junk, you see. Not at all. Yeah. Very nice. And that's why I did not want to lose them, especially for such a stupid reason as a courthouse metal detector. Please. Moving on. You don't seem to have much sympathy for drug addicts. Have all your interactions with them been bad? No, not necessarily. And for the record, it's mainly that I don't have much sympathy for junkies. Just so you'll know. No, they haven't all been bad, per se. I remember one time I was up at the FedEx Kinko's by the Lloyd Center. I was photocopying some money, and when I left, I went walking down the street. There were these two guys who I imagine you would dub as tweakers. They were screaming and yelling their heads off at each other, and one of them broke away and came storming past me on the sidewalk. And when I finally caught up with him, kind of shoulder to shoulder, I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I said to him, "Hey, bud, are you okay? You seem very upset." And he turns to me and he says, "Oh, yeah, well, it's just I had a big argument with so-and-so," called him by his street name. He was getting on my case saying, "Oh, you know, you're using this meth and you're going to blow your mind doing all that." When, you know, he's pretty much doing the same thing. And where does he get the nerve saying that I'm crazy and gacked out, and went on and on, you know, all these different expressions. And he turns to me and says, "I mean, is that the impression that I'm making on you? Do I seem like I'm crazy, like I'm just talking out of my head?" And I said, No, of course not. You seem very rational, very level-headed, even-tempered. You're just upset." And he said, "Well, thank you. I appreciate that. I feel like I'm making sense right now. I don't know why he had to go after me like that, you know. It's just, you know, we take it day to day. Yeah, of course I use this stuff every now and then, but, you know, I try to keep it moderate, you know, and focus on what I'm doing, and, you know. So, in any case, we continued walking until we had to go separate ways, and he calmed down a lot by then. And he was headed into the Lloyd Center proper. And again, I don't know what possessed me to do this, but I actually called him back, and I said, "Say, John, one thing." He'd introduced himself to me by then. "John, just consider something. We're still in the AM here. This is still the morning. Your day is just beginning for you. Who knows what kind of magic, what kind of good fortune might be waiting just right around the corner for you." And he looks at me and he says, yeah, you're right. The whole day is just starting. Yeah, and the sun's out. I mean, who knows? Yeah, and with that in mind, he kind of squared his shoulders and marched forward, his chest kind of throwing out. And hopefully he went on to have a good, positive day, maybe even life-alteringly positive. That would be my hope for this individual. It's all about the individual, case-by-case interactions, you know. But you see, because of the nature of the element in question and the lethal terminal finality which it generally comprises, it lends to a lot of those interactions being negative. I am sorry to say.